welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And on Instagram and Ravelry, you can find me as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm cpredmor on Ravelry on Instagram. I've been posting as Knitting in Our Jeans, and I posted
that you finished your Etude.
Yes, and I did. And it is all... Oh, I know, that's from the...
Mom's getting distracted by stuff.
Yes. Oh, look, a bird.
Yes, it looks
Okay.
really good.
Yes, and all the ends are woven in. I didn't realize it was going to be such a stripy thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
more like that.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you go between the stitches for the body and the stitches for the sleeves. Because you have more stitches around your body. So the strips are thinner.
But anyway, I liked the pattern. What I liked was every row was different.
Okay.
For the top. And they had it both in chart form and written out.
Okay.
Excuse me, row by row. And there were no silly abbreviations. So
nice.
Yes. So you could just follow along in the sentence. And I like that a lot. So would I do this again? I would. I think it is really an excellent sweater. I went further in the body, so it's longer than the pattern called for. But I still have another skein of yarn, or a ball of yarn. I have to say, I'm not a beige person.
No.
And
you are if you're using it with other colors, with brights to like offset it.
Yes. This sweater became sad as I was working on it, and I really couldn't quite understand my mood until I realized I really am not fond of these colors. I mean, it's a good neutral, and I bought this so that it would be a neutral at the Vogue New York show, but these are not my colors. So, anyway, did you finish anything this week?
I've not finished anything.
So then let me show what I started.
I was going to say, but I did finish a swatch.
Oh, okay.
Does that count?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's finish the swatch.
So, I finished my swatch for a test knit. So this is out of the silk and linen from Montreal I got. And it's a colorwork sweater. I don't know how much I can say about it. So because it's a test, I have to look up the rules again.
Yes.
But you can see next week what I've done on it. But these are my colors. This is going to be my main color. This is going to be my contrast color. The deadline is to have the yoke completed by the end of May due to the current situation. She's giving extra time.
I think that's really doable. Yeah,
so I finished the swatch. I washed the swatch. I'm not getting gauge. I'm a little bit bigger than gauge, so I'm going to go down a size and knit the smaller size and hopefully get the amount of ease that she recommends to have in it. But if not, it'll still fit. It's still a size that I wear regularly, so that's not a huge deal. But yeah, that's the swatch I finished.
Okay, well, I swatched, and then I started knitting.
I know.
And I don't know this color. We have the rest of the skeins downstairs. So this is Neighborhood Fiber.
Did you make a page for it yet?
No, I didn't. Look at this. This chewed me up no end.
It's beautiful.
So the collar is a provisional cast on here. Obviously quite lacy. So this is going to open up when blocked. Look at that. So this is the neck. So it comes, all right, it's going to come up like this, and then everything follows from there. So obviously raglan sleeve. It is called the Recoleta.
It is, I think it's Old Town East.
I think you're right. Old Town East. And it is exactly what this calls for. Neighborhood fibers. Let's see. It was subtle. a 70% BFL and 30% silk. And it was, I'll tell you, it's not a work in progress that I'm picking up and finishing. This is when Neighborhood Fiber started their sweater in a box. Easily 5 years ago.
You have it. Well, this I think this is
Look
the
at that.
color, but I don't think this is the yarn.
Why?
Because this is Studio Worsted, but I do think that that's Old
I think
Town
it's
East.
that color. Anyway.
Yeah, because that one's from 2015.
Well, it's at least 5 years old.
Yeah.
And you got the pattern, and this is where they, if you had signed up for the year, you got an email a month before you got the box, and they said, okay, this is the pattern you're getting. What color do you want your sweater? And I picked this. This, as you can see, is a cardigan. I'm making it into a pullover. It is knit from the top down, as you can see, having put the collar on. And I figure I'm going to join it, I think, right about at the underarms, or, you know, a little bit up, so it's not going to be woefully open. It's going to be
Lacy.
It's going to be bigger. I'm seeing it actually as kind of like a lacy sweatshirt.
Oh, nice.
That, you know, something that I can throw on, wear over to the boat. I mean, to me, this just brightened up my day immeasurably. So this is roughly a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
I mean, an entire day. So we're talking 16 hours.
Yeah.
But I'm quite...
Because we're not sleeping.
Right.
Just, if you're counting at home, yeah, that means we're not sleeping.
And I'm not, because I'm taking my allergy pills. And they keep me up. So anyway, this is, I've already then made I've picked up around the collar, and I've started, I think I'm on to the row 3 for, yes, I've been working row 3 for the shaping, yoke. This is where I've actually started on the yoke. And I was working on it yesterday. So this is my project. Yesterday we watched the marathon, the concert. So yes, there was a concert for the World Health Organization. A lot of singers, and we watched it. Yep. And it was good. It was really very good. So I started this.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. So anything else?
So I haven't finished things, but I've started things. Or I picked things back up. Because I finished my Starflake and my Ease last week. So I had started last week my Vellichor by Andrea Mowry. And I have almost an inch I have an inch of ribbing and almost an inch into the body. It's a bit slow going because it's a lot of stitches on tiny needles with tiny yarn. And it's a bit of it's not an intricate pattern, but it is one that I have to kind of think about. Just because you have to slip some stitches and then it's knits and purls, you know, just little things. So once this got past the ribbing, I no longer felt comfortable working on it on work calls. So I then cast on my Secret Crop from Jessie Made. And this is out of some yarn that I got in a kit as a gift from my aunt that I was never going to make that shawl of. I'm being perfectly honest now. So instead I am making it into this top. And there's an orange. I think I left it downstairs. But this is the main color that I'm holding then with either the orange, like I did for the bottom ribbing, and then the burgundy. I'm going to try and make the whole body as much as I can out of the burgundy, and then maybe it'll just be the straps and the ribbing.
Out of the orange. Okay.
So, and that's a merino alpaca nylon tweed blend, so I think warm. I think it's boyfriend friendly. And it's not feeling super crunchy now. I was worried about it feeling crunchy. I might put it in with a lot of wool wash. I think, and this will soften up. I think it'll soften up too. But I really like it. It's a lot of fun. So I've been working on that. And then I also have picked back up on my Quadrat from Knitty from 4 years ago. So I finished the sleeve officially. I now am on to the front and back, so I've separated from the neck hole.
Oh, it's
and
sideways.
It's sideways, yes.
Okay.
And so I have 458 more rows to go. Something
Total?
like that. Till I hit the other end of the neckline.
Ah.
So, and then I have to do the other sleeve.
Right.
My only concern is that my row gauge doesn't match. So I think once I finish the neckline, I might give it a block.
Ah.
Or
to see what's
happening. Or I finish it as per the pattern. And then I give it a block. And then we figure out if I need to put like a picked up panel on either side.
That makes sense to me.
And I think that's perfectly reasonable because it'll be in the underarm and it's...
Yeah.
I was having a lot of anxiety over this and, you know, it's just going to be what it is. And as long as I finish it and I wear it, that's all that matters.
Excellent.
So, speaking of work, I have been put on furlough. So, just in case I mention that again, that's what's happened. I'm okay. I will be fine. It was not unknown.
Other people in the company had been put on furlough.
Right. And it was half of my team. Right. So, it wasn't just me. But I just wanted to put that out there. Because it might become a thing that, you know, has a bigger impact than we can see right now. But we don't know that for now.
Because New York is actually doing some opening up.
A little.
The boatyards and marinas are now able to go back to business. So that means that our boat's going to go in the water for the summer. They had an online meeting of the membership today, which was hysterical. I had done an online meeting with my physical therapist yesterday? Friday. And it was with Zoom. And
it wasn't a one-on-one.
No. So most of the people on the call or on the Zoom didn't know how to mute their computers or mute their Zoom on their computer. So if anybody, while they were doing the stretches, had a comment, Zoom immediately went to them. And for several of the exercises,
there are ways to go around that, but I think
we
it's
were
also
on the
that
floor,
they didn't know.
So all of a sudden, you would see somebody ceiling, and not the person. And it was interesting. The stretches were good, and it certainly was a reminder to actually go and do the stretches. Always a good thing. But so today's membership meeting was much like this. I mean, someone would say something like, "Oh, look, there's a," and I gotta go get my coffee, and then the screen would immediately switch to them. I understand from Elizabeth there's a way to get some control over this.
There is.
I guess to lock it on
there's a speaker view.
Yes, well,
you can put a spotlight on who you want to have available to speak. Yeah,
so. It's very interesting, but it came out, I guess, in the news yesterday that Cuomo has opened,
and the other governors of Connecticut and Jersey
have opened up their states for the boatyards and marinas for pleasure craft, not the large
charter.
Well, not charter, not the fishing boats, things like that, and we are not opening our club on the second floor, so there was no, as we used to do, go and get lunch or dinner and bring it in and eat out on the outstairs deck, which was lovely. So the upstairs is just going to be closed. So you come, you walk through, you get on the launch and go to your boat while socially distancing. So it looks like it'll be one boat at a time unless it's individuals. So there's enough room in the launch for, I think, 3 people who aren't going to the same boat to go out.
They'll figure it out.
It's
not that big of a deal. We have to first get our boat ready to go into the water.
There's pieces of our boat in the den downstairs because the metal structures that you tighten down, holding up the spreaders, which hold up your mass, which then hold up your sails, our chain plates were leaking. So that's where they attach to the deck. And it's where last summer I had put my phone up on the upper ledge. And an hour later, I went to reach for it, and it was wet. And I went, and I managed to short circuit the battery case that it was in. My phone, I think our phone is where they were starting to make it so it was water resistant. Okay. So the phone I held up and managed to prop up so the water dripped out of it, and it was fine. Mm-hmm. But it's where the chain plate was leaking. Not a large amount, but it was raining, obviously. Mm-hmm. And it was pouring, as a matter of fact. And so there was the water would collect on this metal piece, then it would come down to the deck, and then it would ooze around, and then come into the boat, coming down this piece of metal. And it was so gradual, I didn't even see that the metal was wet. Just like, oh well. And had I had the phone 12 inches to one side or the other,
and you all heard this summer. So yes, we are fixing it. The point of this.
Sorry. So anyway, those pieces are downstairs. Yeah. So we have to get those back on the boat. And then there's things like washing the bottom of the boat and getting the bottom of the boat painted. So I guess they paint it. Then we wash it.
Wash it, paint it, wash it again.
They sand it. Oh. So it's really the white parts that we're washing and polishing. So we'll be doing that. And I'm happy about this. And this is really terrific. We also had a conversation at dinner tonight about some people. Apparently there's an article in the New York Times where people are on their boats.
People who had left their abodes and decided to try and ride this out on their boats.
Right, because they didn't think it was going to be this long. I mean, let's be honest.
I am not one of those people.
But we easily could have been caught down in St. Thomas because, the only reason we were here was because I had an orthopedist appointment around Valentine's Day, February 13th.
I'm just saying.
And then your father ended up with another doctor's appointment. Otherwise, we were looking at flights.
They would have extradited you. It's not. That's not. No, Mom. Those are two different things.
Calm down. These are people that are on their boats down in the Caribbean.
Yes. Yes. Who left here to go to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I understand that.
Thinking that this would be a better idea.
But we easily could have been down there when all of a sudden this hit the fan.
But it's not the same
I understand.
Condition.
I understand. However, I'm saying there also could be people who spend the winter down there.
Yes.
So it's not like they left because of the virus.
And I'm not saying that's the problem. That's not what I was saying.
No, but I haven't read the article, so this also could be people that
I've read many an article from all of the different perspectives because
of our people who have wintered down there.
No, that's what I'm saying. I have read articles on that too, and they're yes, they're dealing with it, but they are also doing things like what we had discussed at dinner, which was you drive your dinghy up to the dock, you have the delivery guy bring it to the dock, and you distance yourself. You have them drop it on the dock. You don't go out of your dinghy, essentially, or you get onto the dock very quickly, grab your stuff, and get back in the dinghy.
Which I can see working, say, in South Florida.
Right.
I was sitting at dinner trying to think of which islands I could actually do that at where we have been. And the only one I could think was Antigua in English Town or Falmouth Harbor. Because the rest of it really isn't set up for that. And then you'd have to get picked up by a taxi to be taken, and I don't see that happening. So I think you have to really think about where you're going and make sure that you can get groceries from a walking distance or a bicycling distance. Anyway, obviously first world problems, nothing to get upset about. And then I had mentioned to you all I was going to go back and work on my cardigan.
And she did.
I picked it up. It was here. And so I have done all of this. It actually is a very, I don't know why I was having a problem before. I mean, this is the 4th time that I have worked on this sweater.
You've had some times where you're like, everything needs to stop. I need to focus on this.
I mean, this is just, but what can I tell you? So I really like it. We have, so as we mentioned last week, I have 3 skeins of this art yarn, and I'm supposed to have 4. I bought 4. I have in my Ravelry that I have 4. We don't know where that 4th one is.
No. Still haven't found it.
No. And this has been torn apart because my husband was rerunning the wire. You notice the wire's no longer in the
No,
hall?
I didn't.
Yes.
It doesn't affect me
Well,
as much as it affects the rest of the household. So no,
yeah,
I didn't.
I have
notice.
tripped on it a couple times.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so it meant I was having to move things
Yeah, I noticed.
around here. It's a little bit more picked up. That's where some of it went. So.
Yeah.
But this part's cleaner over here.
Anyway.
So this is the brilliantly named Art Yarn Non-Beaded Spring Jacket. A name that just trips off the tongue.
Oh, yeah.
So what I've decided to do is I'm going to make the shorter version, which means I do 2 repeats of this pattern, and I am 1 1/4 through. It is 52 rows, and that brings you to here. Maybe I'm 1 1/2, close to 1 1/2. So it brings you to here, and so I do 2 of those, and then I do the sleeve.
Oh,
and
this was
Elizabeth said, and I said, I wonder if I could do the long one.
No, you said, I think I'm not going to do the long. I think I'm going to do the short because I want to make sure I have enough for long sleeves. And
Right.
I had said, well, why don't you do the sleeves first so you know how much yarn you have.
So then I went through the pattern, and I couldn't find where they talked about doing the sleeves. Yes, so we looked at the schematic, and you come up, and at this point you cast on 48 more stitches. And obviously I'm going to have to see where 48 stitches brings me. Apparently they said it was twice this now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that is where I think I may want to cast on 2 of those.
Yeah, it'll be double that.
No, in the pattern it says, remember, now you're going to do this twice. So that means you're going to do it for here.
Uh-huh. So
And then
you might want to
do it for here.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm thinking I may want to cast on
60.
Yes.
Or whatever the equivalent is.
Yes.
We'll see.
So I mean, obviously this is going to bloom and stretch
Mm-hmm.
a great deal because it's quite an open weave.
Yeah.
And so, well, let's see.
So if you stretch it as far as it can go.
Not quite. I'm thinking maybe half again. So you get to like there.
Okay.
Because I like my sleeves
substantial.
Yes. I don't like them kind of hanging out there. So anyway, I have made progress with that. If I hadn't gone overboard and eaten too much candy this afternoon, I wouldn't have a headache. And I'd be working on it now. But I have a bit of a headache. It's blossomed. It's my own fault. So I don't think I'm going to be doing any more knitting this afternoon or this evening.
That's why I have the easy 3x3 ribbing.
Yes.
And speaking of,
yes,
Jessie made. Jessie, she is nothing if not a class act. And she came out with her butt shorts pattern this week.
This is the one who does the rippled bralette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
we've
made the rippled bralette, and I've made 2. One for this size, one for a size of me smaller.
So,
oh my God.
I have been seeing these everywhere. And my friend Tanya and I have wanted this since they said it was going to come out. And so Friday morning, it was released. And 2 minutes later, my friend Tanya gifted it to me. So Once I get the Quadrat done, I'm going to make a pair out of this. They're going to be amazing. I'm so excited!
It would be great for lounging.
Exactly! That was the funniest part about, like, telling my team. Because the half who got furloughed, like, the half that didn't get furloughed didn't know until we told them.
Oh.
So, like, my bosses didn't know that it was happening. No.
It's odd.
No, they didn't know. So that was fun. And of course my coworkers are like, so you're gonna come back in a whole like knit outfit? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be sewing up a storm. I'm gonna be knitting up a storm. Just you wait. It's gonna be great. Get excited. And everyone's just like, oh no.
Oh no,
you're
right.
going to be absolutely losing your mind. I'm like, I'm gonna have so much time to do all of the things. And everyone's just like, oh no. Oh no. We've unleashed a monster. I'm like, yeah. So, I'm very excited, because I will have all of these, sweaters on the needles and getting done. And I have plans to, print out a whole bunch of mood, patterns that I had saved and that I want to take a look at and put together. And then...
should do that down in the office? Or
we can talk.
You could do it up here.
Yeah.
I certainly have paper.
Okay. And then, yeah, I'm excited. This week is going to be very interesting to see how either productive or not productive I am.
Well, I mean,
because I'm also going to be able to watch all of the things that I have been wanting to watch, but then like realize that it's like 8 o'clock when I'm logging off at work and I have to eat dinner, and then I do my workout, and then it's too late to start a series that I will want to watch in one sitting.
Right.
So.
Whereas I've been able to do that.
It's gonna be great.
Actually, I should be grading some stuff tonight. If I don't get there tonight, I'll do it tomorrow.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's excellent. I'm telling you, it's like being retired.
I mean, it's not excellent. I'm going to freak out probably in about a month and a half if I'm still like this, but when we get there, we'll get there.
We will get there.
So for right now, we're okay. Right. Also because, as I said, my bosses didn't know, and my one boss started freaking out and cursing up a storm on the video, like, chat we had, and was like, so, like, I know your phones technically are, like, turned off, which means, like, we don't have access to our contact. I think we'll still have access to our contacts, but we won't have access to our email. But, like, if I call, I want you to pick up, and you need to send me, all of you need to send me your personal numbers, if I don't have them already, because I'm going to check in on you guys, okay? And I was just like, okay. I mean, like, I'll call on, like, Thursday if I haven't heard from him, just because I know he'll be like, are you okay? Like, you sure you're okay? Because I know he also has been taking a lot of solace in being able to see our face, like, see each of our faces and such when we, or at least hear our voices when we jump on calls every morning. So I think it'll be okay. I think
it'll be fine.
I also understand that I come from a place of privilege to be able to say that.
Yeah, because you're working in construction and it's a
yes.
project that hasn't finished, but it's a high
yes.
priority project since it is for a governmental organization.
Yes, so I want to
once
acknowledge
New York
that.
State goes back into production, your project will be
hopefully
active again.
Hopefully.
I can't see them letting it sit. It's too close to being finished to let it just sit.
So that's that. As I said, I am knitting up a storm over here. Yeah, no, it doesn't magnetize. Not all things are connecting to it.
No. Oh well.
But I'm trying to knit on the Vellichor at least 10 minutes a day, which I usually do more because I usually try and get about 2 rows done, which takes about 45 minutes to an hour. But as I said, the rows are like 300 stitches and it's fingering weight on 4s, which all know. Which is what
I normally knit at.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what this was.
Yeah, but I don't.
You're a sport DK worsted.
Yeah, but I do have some fingering weight things. Right. But usually it's on 5s, and usually I'm not switching colors every 2 rows and doing a slightly not so mindless thing. Because when it starts to go mindless, I make mistakes.
Well, I lose some of the interest. So I opened up my Likey interchangeables and found that they didn't have a size 6, which is what I needed.
Oh.
Yes, for the
Recoleta.
So, sad face. So I think I went then to the Addy Clicks, yes. So I did go back into the Addy Clicks, and I'm working on the Addy Clicks. So that's good, and it's going to be, I think, long enough. And in fact, I could extend those cords, so that's not a problem.
But you said you had ordered the...
I did. So, if this pandemic had happened 20 years ago, I would not be so sanguine. So when I realized I didn't have any 5s or 6s because the set starts at 7, I went online and found that I could order the 5-inch tips in a 5 and a 6. So I did. Good. And they will be coming, so then I will have tips for the Likey needles in those sizes. So that'll be great.
Yeah, and my fabric for my dress that I was talking about, the belladonna, that should be coming in the mail this week. I got a shipping notice, but it hasn't updated yet. I know that they are opening. The fabric store I got it from is open on a very small staff right now due to still the social distancing rules. But due to the fact that people are making masks, fabric stores are opening. But they are all kind of following their own set of social distancing rules depending on the company. So,
speaking of masks, I'm sure we've seen on the television news people have gone into production for making fabric masks. Bernadette Banner has on her videos, there's one video about making masks, and then she has a link to an organization where you can go in and say, I've got 25, 30 masks. You put in the number of masks that you have made and your location, and they will match you up with a hospital, a vet, some local
senior citizen home
organization that can use it, and then you and the organization can figure out how you're going to make the exchange, like the drop off. They also have several patterns. She has a link to several patterns. They particularly like the pleated ones, and they want them to at least double layer. You were making some that were going to be quadruple layer, right? Yes? No?
I mean, mine are double actually, I did just cut out one that's going to be triple layer, but that's only because I'm using a plaid fabric, and I wanted to make sure that it had some, but I have a pocket in mine, so you can add, the coffee filters or whatever, or the vacuum bag filters.
So anyway, there are several patterns on the Bernadette Banner,
which we'll link
YouTube,
below.
Yes. So if you're interested in doing that, something to do if you can sew and have a sewing machine while we're doing all of this. Because now in New York State, if you go outside and have the possibility of meeting somebody, you need to be wearing a mask, which is very different than what we've been through up to this point. But they've decided that's...
Which I think is good.
It's fine. It's just antithetical to what they've been saying up until now.
They've been changing their mind on what they want us to do, and
they've been fluid.
Yes, we're gonna just go with it.
Of course we are, because actually in New York City you can be fined up to, I think, $1,000 for not wearing your mask. Oh. So anyway, if you did not make masks before, at least in New York, you need to be making masks.
And in Philly, they are also, I saw they're also...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of the East Coast, and I would have no doubt that Seattle also might be. So if you're just in a metropolitan area, definitely
anyway, there's a number of places where you can find free patterns for masks.
Oh, yeah.
I know that Mood Fabric has free patterns for masks, as well as protective coverings.
Full PPE.
Right. And they're selling, Mood, I think, is selling cottons for that. Bernadette, in her video on masks, mentions this woman who's a physician at one of the New York hospitals. And I went to her video, and she actually gave links to a company or a material that is used in the sterilization bags for instruments. You would have to buy, and they're actually bags, and I don't think you could buy it by the yard, but you buy it like a packet of 50 bags, and they can be very large bags, and then you can cut them up and make masks out of those. And the pattern that woman liked actually had a piece of metal in here, so it clamps down over your nose.
Pipe cleaners, twist ties, jewelry wire.
And that actually passed their sniff test. So apparently in the hospital, they can run a sniff test to make sure your mask is well fitted. And the design that she has, which is kind of like
similar to the one I have.
Yes, it passed the sniff test.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a lot of different things. So if you're
stay safe, stay home if you can.
For making masks, there's a lot of different sources for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, we're fine. I mean, we have headaches and other issues, but it's because of things we ate. I managed to feed her some gluten yesterday by mistake.
I didn't even think about it until way late, until 3 hours later, and I was like,
taco boats.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, it was absolutely accidental. I'm used to this house being a safe space for me, and Mom is used to being a safe cook for me.
I thought they were, it never occurred to me that they were made of flour. I thought they were made out of cornmeal, and then it went, oh my God.
Yeah. So my mother has been lovely and just apologizing all day.
We made sure that the sauce was gluten-free.
I know.
Oh, well.
We tried hard.
And then this morning I couldn't go to sleep yesterday because of my allergy medicine. So I was up till 4 this morning, knitting until 2, and then gave that up. And then was reading. So anyway, this morning I got up, and after I had slept 5.5 hours, I was sleepier than I was before I went to bed last night. So I had breakfast, and suddenly I perked up. And then I ate something else, and I felt better. So then, I think I'll hit some of the Easter candy. And obviously that was a mistake.
She hit the Easter candy a little too hard.
Yeah. I could have 1 piece. I can't have 3.
You can maybe have 2, but, I wouldn't push it past 3.
1. Oh, 3 is obviously a problem.
I usually only have 2 myself. But that's just me.
This was not a good idea.
No.
So anyway, that'll put pay to my crafting today. I may just go down and take another nap on the sofa.
Reasonable. But yeah, so that's what's going on here.
We're not really lighting things afire at the moment.
No, we're just progressing.
Yes. Yes. And I'm very excited about my Recoleta. I'm excited about both of them. The Recoleta is going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bigger than I'm normally used to, because obviously I usually like negative ease.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of it as a sweatshirt, a lacy sweatshirt. I think it'll be really good.
It will.
So we've gotten some messages on our YouTube channel thanking us for doing this, and we're happy to do this.
Yeah.
We're actually feeling very lucky that we have been in quarantine the entire time. So while she doesn't live with us anymore, she goes back to her apartment where she has a parking space in the parking garage, meets no one coming in and out of the garage, goes up to her apartment and sees no one there.
I try very hard not to go out of my apartment when I hear other people around. I need to be better about that in terms of if I'm planning on taking out the trash, I need to then just wait, a little while and then take out the trash.
The door.
Instead, I've just been kind of letting little piles of it grow in my front door. But that's okay. It's not gross trash. It's just
paper.
Fabric scraps and stuff.
That can grow pretty quick.
Yes. But yeah. The other thing I did this week was I painted my nails.
Cool.
I feel it was very soothing to do also. I'm a little upset because I've washed my hands so much in the last 3 days that they're now chipping. It's okay. And then I finally put up some, what'd you call it? Art? No, fans that
open up,
that I've wanted to put up in my apartment since I moved in. 2 of which were from my grandparents from their travels, and 3 of them were. One was from you and Dad from Panama,
right?
And then one was the one we got that you and
Spain?
I in Madrid, and then the one I got in Barcelona. So I got to put those up. I put a few other little things up. So, you know, nothing like finally decorating your apartment 4 years later. Oops. But yeah, it's an interesting time. I hope you all are
safe and well,
staying safe as you can. If you have to go out, obviously masks and hand sanitizer are going to be our best friends for the next probably few months.
And I mean, if you can use the pharmacy delivery, that's great. My allergy pills, I have to go physically into the pharmacy to get.
And I didn't get a text message that said I could have them delivered, like some of my prescriptions. So you still have to go in, but
full mask.
Be careful. And be careful, everyone. If you have to go into work still, thank you for doing what you need to. Thank you for, helping those of us who are able to stay home. If you're a delivery person, thank you very much. Everything that you're doing is great. If you work in banks, if you happen to be a healthcare provider, God bless you.
Yes.
And if y'all need anything, drop us a line.
We'll do our best.
We'll do as best as we can, because y'all are just out there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you have to go out, we understand that. Just be as safe as possible. And we appreciate your service.
Very
especially grocery store clerks and grocery delivery people. Y'all are doing great things.
Yes.
I say that when I go to, I've only been to the grocery store once since all this happened, and I have to go again next week. But I was just like, thank you all.
Your father doesn't want me going to the grocery store.
I know. So Dad goes.
He does go.
Which is
once
very
a week
sweet.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Which is very hard for him.
Very hard for him. He's like a zombie the rest of the day.
It's okay. It's for a good. He does not want you to go.
He does not want me to go.
You went that first week, and then
I did, and it was fine.
Yeah, because you don't sleep.
Right.
He, however, he really enjoys his sleep.
Yeah.
But Dad. It's very funny.
It's all part of keeping everybody safe.
Yes.
So he's doing that.
Yes. Well, and he called me many times on Friday and then on Saturday to see if I was coming over.
Okay.
Yeah. You okay? You sure you're okay? You sure you're okay? You're coming over for dinner, right? Right? So whenever anyone points out that we are not social distancing, we're doing as best as we can without me killing my father.
Yeah.
Because if I stayed here, I will not be held accountable for the fact that we might never speak to each other again after this.
Yes.
But also, if I didn't come over, he would be at my door.
Oh, he would be losing his mind.
He would come into Queens and get me.
I think so.
So,
we're not really having an impact on anybody else that I don't think so.
So, it's something I have kind of little fears about. But I just wanted to, in case anyone's worried about us or, a little grumpy at us that, I'm going in and out. I feel it. I also have these little brain nigglings. But we're doing our best to also then keep our family mental health.
Yes.
As good as it can be. But yeah.
There is a benefit that's going to be on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, Jersey for Jersey. And it is on NBC here in New York, which is Channel 4, and I guess Channel 4 also in New Jersey. But they're going to have John Bon Jovi, there's going to be Bruce Springsteen, Whoopi Goldberg, Chris Rock.
But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of these things that are happening. I know DJ D-Nice is still doing his online parties, which are really fun. I caught One of them, I guess on Tuesday. It must have been on Tuesday. And I just had it playing and it was just lovely. The only problem is that it ran down my phone battery.
Oh.
And I didn't notice it. But yeah, so yeah, definitely keep checking out those things. I know the Actors Fund is still running their like chats with actors, and sundry other, people related to theater. And, you know, if you guys have any suggestions for what we should be checking out on our streaming services, let us know, because
I'm big into Time Team.
We've watched a lot of Time Team today.
Yes, we did. But we're learning a lot.
We are learning a lot. Yes, I learned that if you are digging for things and you come across a field of bricks, you have to then stop, photograph, and then draw and mark where all of those bricks are that you found. It was as if they had bricked the patio and then sodded over the bricks.
Oh my gosh.
You were asleep at this point.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
So, I mean, if it's an archaeological dig, and a great bit of Great Britain, if you dig in your backyard, could be an archaeological dig. And so it's important to take pictures of where things are found. Mm-hmm. So that it can be properly cataloged and information.
But it was very funny.
That is kind of cute. Yeah, I fell asleep this afternoon and woke up with a head that was worse than what I started with. You know, but it's because I ate something.
Yeah.
Food allergies do that, and I'm going to stop talking about that now. But so yes, Time Team has, I think, 21 seasons or 20 seasons, and we skipped 4.
Oh,
Today we did 5, so we've got many more seasons to look at.
Wow.
And I tend to like murder mysteries, and my husband does. Oh, so we're looking, your father likes cozy mysteries. So there's one on Acorn called Pie in the Sky.
Oh, no.
Yes.
He seems to be okay with Midsummer, though.
It's the same idea, dear.
Oh, okay.
It's not like some of these more clinical ones. Oh. Pie in the Sky is a British one, of course. It's on Acorn. And it is this police inspector, so DI, who is trying to retire. But he does his job so very well
that they won't let him retire.
They don't want him to retire. So they actually set him up in a sting and never reported it. I mean, it was one of these things that the upper echelon knows that it was dropped, but no one ever told him that it was dropped, which of course is a really strange premise. Yes. And he was ready to retire, much like I was ready to retire. And so he bought this little cafe, and he calls it Pie in the Sky. And he's one of these people that if he brought cookies in or a cake into work, it was gone like that.
Yep.
Well, the cafe is doing very well, and he wants to retire, but they keep coming to him on the difficult cases and having him come in and solve these things. It's very much like Midsummer Murders, where it is just cutesy.
You don't see the violent death.
No.
You see the aftermath, usually.
Right. And the person is dead within the first 3 minutes, and you never met them anyway.
Yeah.
And it's all these little villages.
Okay.
Yes. So Pie in the Sky is what we're watching. And he will watch up to 3 in an evening.
Okay.
But no more than that. And usually it's just 1, because you don't want to overdo this. He's not used to streaming services where you can binge watch. He's just not into this at all.
He never did well when, even like my favorite, like before all of this, streaming services happened, you'd always have TNT or USA or one of them during the summers would always have like marathons of different things.
Yes.
And I remember one of the things that our family at the beach house could agree on was Law and Order.
Yes.
And we could have it on all day. And it was great because we'd come in, we'd go, what? And Dad was not pleased. He would be like, why are we just sitting here? Why are we just watching all of these shows? And we're like, because we like it. And because it's a gross day out, we're not going outside.
It's raining or something.
Yeah. And he's like, well, we can still go for a bike ride. You can go for a bike ride. So my father has never done well with long marathons of things.
He is not itchy, but itchy to get moving and doing things.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I've got about a week's worth more of stuff to do, and then
Oh, no.
I have to work on the house. Well, now he can work on the boat.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, so he can get out and work on the boat. But he has to be doing something, which I can understand because I have all this knitting.
Yeah.
And I really think that I'm getting a lot done. So what is this, my second finished object during the quarantine?
What was your first?
That khaki. This thing.
Oh, yes. Then yes, it's your second.
Yes, and I think I'll have finished the white thing by next week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to finish this by next week. I'll probably actually, if I really knuckle down, I can finish at least to the point of an analysis, the Quadrat.
Oh, good.
We'll see. We'll see how ambitious I get.
And then at some point, I need to work on this blanket that I got from the Long Island Yarn Crawl because it's at my feet. And it would be nice to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And I like the colors, so that's not a terrible thing. And then the thing I picked up went, oh, pretty.
Yeah.
It's a cotton linen, a wool blend. So that's also something that could be knit up, get it up off my floor here, and get it ready for the summer, which would be good. Remember that making things for the summer is also kind of on my list. And this white thing, I think will be good. Yeah. And as I said, then the wool pullover will be good.
Yeah.
So
we're
working on it.
So we're waffling because that's where we're at in this whole thing. Maybe next week we'll have some sewing to show you. Maybe not.
Maybe. We'll see. I want to get these two things done before I work on my raincoat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just...
And I actually need to get my fabric out and hold it under the sink just to see how water resistant it is. Because otherwise, can you still order Scotch Guard? I have to look into that.
Okay.
Because that would make water beat up. I think this will beat up anyway, but I'll check it out. Yes.
But yeah, so I think we don't have any ends to weave in this week
again.
But I think we will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Be safe.